A balloon pops behind you. Your shoulders jump. Your heart slams against your ribs. And here's the strange part. You flinched before you even knew what the sound was. Your brain reacted before your mind caught up. It happened in a fraction of a second. Faster than thought. Faster than fear even. So what just happened inside you? The answer is far stranger than a simple reflex. Somewhere deep in your skull, behind your eyes, sits a small almond-shaped cluster of neurons called the amygdala. It is ancient. It does not wait for permission. The neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux spent decades mapping exactly how this structure works, and what he found rewired how scientists understand fear itself. There are two paths information can take through your brain. One is slow and careful. It runs through your visual cortex, gets analyzed, gets understood, and only then triggers a response. The other path is short, almost embarrassingly short. Sound or movement hits your senses and goes almost directly to the amygdala, skipping the thinking brain entirely. LeDoux called this the low road. Your high road thinks. Your low road just reacts. Why would evolution build a shortcut around your own intelligence? Picture your ancestors, not in a classroom, not at a desk, but in tall grass, at dusk, alone. A shape moves at the edge of vision. Is it wind? Is it a predator? There is no time to deliberate. The human who paused to rationally assess the shape sometimes became dinner. The human who flinched first and asked questions later survived to pass on that same nervous system. You are not flinching by accident. You are flinching because every ancestor who didn't is not your ancestor. This is the part most people never stop to consider. Fear, in its rawest form, isn't an emotion. It's a prediction. Your brain is constantly running a model of what might hurt you, updating it in real time, and acting on the smallest hint of threat before your conscious mind even has a vote. Here's where it gets even stranger. The psychologist Arne Ullman ran a series of experiments showing people images of snakes, spiders, flowers, and mushrooms. Flashed quickly, almost too quickly to consciously register. People detected the snakes and spiders faster every time. Not because they'd learned to fear them in this lifetime. Many of his subjects had never even seen a venomous snake in person. The fear was already loaded into the system, like a program installed before birth. Ullman's research suggested something unsettling. Your brain doesn't just learn what to fear. It comes pre-tuned to notice certain shapes, certain movements, certain silhouettes that meant death for thousands of generations before you. So when you flinch at a coiled garden hose in the dark, you are not being irrational. You are being thorough. Of course, the modern world rarely throws snakes at you. So what does your low road do with all that leftover machinery? It misfires. Constantly. A car backfires, and your whole body locks up. Your phone buzzes against a hard surface in a silent room, and your stomach drops before you even know why. Someone raises their voice 2 rooms away, and your jaw tightens. None of these things are predators. None of them are actually dangerous. But your amygdala doesn't know the difference between a real threat and a loud noise, because for most of human history, loud and sudden usually meant exactly the same thing. This is where the work of neuroendocrinologist Robert Sapolsky becomes essential. Sapolsky spent years studying stress in primates, both in the wild and in laboratory settings, and he kept circling back to one uncomfortable conclusion. Human bodies run an alarm system built for animals that face physical danger for a few intense minutes at a time. A zebra gets chased by a lion. It survives, or it doesn't. Either way, the stress response ends quickly. You, on the other hand, can trigger that same biological alarm by simply imagining a difficult email you haven't answered yet. Your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a lion and a deadline. That single mismatch explains an enormous amount of modern anxiety. Your low road still works exactly the way it did 50,000 years ago. It is fast, it is automatic, and it overrides logic the instant it senses danger. But the danger today rarely has teeth. It has notifications. It has silences in conversations. It has footsteps behind you on an empty street that turn out to belong to someone walking their dog. Does that mean the flinch is broken? Not exactly. It means the flinch was never built for accuracy. It was built for speed. Evolution does not reward the organism that calmly verifies whether the rustling bush contains a predator. It rewards the organism that jumps first and figures out the rest later, even if it jumps at nothing 9 times out of 10. A few wasted flinches cost almost nothing. One missed predator costs everything. Your nervous system was shaped by that brutal arithmetic, and it still runs the same calculation today, even though the stakes have quietly changed. Think about the last time you flinched at something harmless. A shadow, a creak in the floor, a hand suddenly touching your shoulder. In that instant, before any thought formed, some ancient part of you treated the moment exactly the way your ancestors treated the edge of the firelight, as if your life depended on the next half second. In a way, it once did. This is the quiet inheritance hiding inside every startled jump, every racing heartbeat over nothing, every moment your body reacts before your mind has even opened its eyes. You are not just a person standing in a kitchen, or a hallway, or a quiet office. You are also, in that flinching instant, every human who ever lived long enough to flinch and survive. So the next time your shoulders jump at a sound that turns out to be nothing, don't be embarrassed by it. Don't tell yourself you overreacted. You didn't malfunction. You inherited a system tuned across hundreds of thousands of years to keep you alive in a world that no longer exists, still faithfully running in a world that does. A balloon pops behind you, and before you even know what the sound was, something ancient inside you has already decided that you are worth protecting.